Hi folks, and welcome to Philosophy According to Eddie. Today we're going to be looking at the teleological argument for the existence of God. This argument is meant to prove that God exists through the idea of intelligent design. It comes in two forms: design qua purpose and design qua regularity. The idea is that the universe is in such a way that it must have been designed by someone. Therefore, there must be a designer, and therefore, God must exist because God was the designer. Those in favour are William Paley, Thomas Aquinas, Richard Swinburne, F.R. Tennant, Gottfried Leibniz. Those against are David Hume, John Stuart Mill, Richard Dawkins, and Bertrand Russell. So let's have a look at what they've got to say. William Paley came up with the analogy of the watchmaker for the teleological argument, and this one is argument qua regularity. Argument qua regularity basically says that design qua regularity means design in the sense of the universe being regular, and therefore the regularity of the universe is evidence that a designer created it. Imagine a watch. You find a watch on the ground and you open it up and have a look at it. It's far too intricate to have occurred by chance. All the cogs and the wheels and the hands, it's far too unlikely to assume that this has occurred by chance. Now, even if the watch doesn't work properly, if it's damaged, it's still very intricate, it's still very impressive. The chance of all of those parts coming together and working perfectly, or even working imperfectly, but still working, suggests that there must have been a watchmaker who designed it. It couldn't have just fallen together like that. The suggestion, therefore, is that the universe, like a watch, needs a designer. And even if it doesn't work properly, even if there's evil in the world, it is much simpler to suggest that there is a watch designer than to suggest it came together by chance. This is Occam's razor. Occam's razor being, if all else is equal, the simplest explanation is probably true. So from this, William Paley assumes that God must have designed the universe because the universe is far too complicated to have occurred by chance. And the simpler explanation is that God created it. Thomas Aquinas has a slightly different approach. Whereas William Paley talks about the design of the universe being proven through the intricacy of the universe, the fact that it couldn't have happened by chance, Aquinas talks about design qua purpose. Basically, a designer designs something to have a purpose. And even if the thing itself that has been designed doesn't have a conscious thought to it, as an unthinking object, it can still meet its purpose by being triggered on its way by its designer. Now, this is very much from Aristotle in his Final Cause. And the idea is that much like, say, an arrow fired by an archer, the arrow isn't thinking and the bow isn't thinking, but they are both serving their purpose by moving the arrow to the target, which is serving its purpose by taking the arrow. They've all been designed, they've all been put into action by their designer, and they've met their purpose. So the arrow to the target is like God firing the universe into existence, and we're all moving towards our purpose because of God being the first cause. God is the first cause, or in Aristotle's view, the final cause. Of course, the problem with this is that purpose suggests that everything must have a purpose and that it can be found. Now, Aquinas does get a bit hesitant and does suggest actually maybe some things don't have a known purpose, and that throws it into doubt. Also, what about if the purpose is bad? Purpose from Aristotle is very much relative, but God is meant to be absolutely and objectively good. So there are some issues there. And much like William Paley's idea about the watchmaker, which suggests that maybe the watchmaker no longer exists anymore, there was one at one point. Has the first cause, the God that's triggered everything, has that God come and gone? That option is still not covered by either of the two philosophers who put forward the teleological argument. There are criticisms of the teleological argument. Hume questions whether it is an apt analogy. Can you really make the world and the watch into an analogy, or the world and an arrow and an archer? And he draws out some of the problems with this analogy. The fact that one is a machine, and the world and the universe are not a machine, they are giant natural objects, among other issues. The Epicurean thesis. Basically, the Epicurean thesis suggests that if enough random events occur, eventually something will come of it. So this could have happened randomly. There could be many other universes where this never happened. It was just a failure. It could be random. We can't write that out. And also effect from cause. Can you really prove that because we see the effects, we can prove the cause? If I throw a brick at a window and the window smashes, we will assume it's because I threw the brick at the window. But there is the possibility that the window just shattered randomly as the brick came up to it. Again, very unlikely, but possible. Mill. Relatively simple idea. The universe is flawed, and therefore a flawed universe means a flawed creator. God has got problems. Flawed God would create a flawed universe. Dawkins, from Charles Darwin, suggested evolution of the species is wasteful. It's horrifically violent and unpleasant. How could this have been designed? And why weren't creatures designed as they were from the start, to be perfect? Why do they have to waste so many young dying in the survival of the fittest? And Bertrand Russell, we'll come on to him more with the cosmological argument, but he suggests that just because you can claim something about all of the parts of an entity doesn't mean that you can claim the same about the whole. For example, fire is inedible. A raw egg is, well, it's a risk to eat. And a saucepan or a frying pan is not edible. But put the fire, the frying pan and the egg together and you can create a fried egg. The first three are inedible, but the product is edible. They have different properties. The parts have different properties to the whole. And Russell suggests that because we see regularity in lots of different parts of the universe, because we see order there, it doesn't mean that there is an ordered creator who has created it. It's called fallacy of composition. But this plays more into the cosmological argument than it does into the teleological argument. In response to the criticisms, certain thinkers have tried to redefend the teleological argument. Richard Swinburne gives the argument from simplicity. This is Occam's razor, that the most economical and simple option for the cause of the universe is, in fact, God. If God didn't design it, that involves a huge amount of chance. The Epicurean thesis, for example, it's very, very unlikely. So the simpler explanation is that there is a designer to design the universe. F.R. Tennant gives the anthropic principle. Anthropic as in referring to humanity. Basically, the universe is perfectly set up, and certainly our solar system and our world, for human life. Not the universe, but our solar system shows that the sun is just the right distance away. We have water, which is in 3 states on our Earth. We have various things that allow our life on Earth. If it had been a little bit different, life couldn't exist. So surely, because of that, because humans can exist, because other life can exist, that suggests there is a designer. And Gottfried Leibniz, although he comes more into the cosmological argument, suggests the principle of sufficient reason. Everything should be able to be explained in some way, at least sufficiently. So as a response to Hume, yes, you might be able to suggest that a brick thrown at a window didn't cause it to smash, but we just have to have it to be sufficient reason. It is most likely the brick caused it to smash. Now, if we can work out the sufficient reason for everything in the universe, purpose if you will, then surely we can work out that the universe itself has a purpose. Although this is the major bit that Russell argues against with his fallacy of composition. That is the major area that the two disagree over. But that's more in the cosmological argument. So that outlines the basics of the teleological argument. We'll also consider the cosmological argument, and after looking at those two arguments from observation, the existence of God, we will then look at the ontological argument, which is an a priori approach. So if you've got any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.